Hi, this is Tim Santoni, and welcome to Santoni Spotlight. Today, I'm joined by Brett Buettner. Brett, thanks for joining the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate being here.
Before we get started, maybe give the viewers a little bit of about yourself, your company, your career, what got you to this point, and give us some context for our conversation today.
Absolutely. So thank you, Tim. So my name is Brett Buettner. I'm managing partner at Buettner Insurance Agency. I've been a broker for about 5.5 years. Before then, I was in tech sales, specifically for human resources, and I saw there was a great need for some of that new tech in the world of health insurance. So what I decided to do once the Affordable Health Care Act really came out and really was implemented, that was a great time to jump in and really help people figure out how to navigate the new health insurance world.
So in your business, maybe give our viewers a sense of the typical clients you guys like to work with, where you can add the most value, kind of get us up to speed on that.
Sure. So we like working with clients that actually care about their employees, and that's a really big one for us. We like to say in our brand is really about family. We like clients and employers to care about their employees, because then that means they actually want to sit down with us and go over what they want. So people offer, in California, medical is just the beginning of the steps. We like people that really want to look at the whole gambit, just because that has employees that will stay there and actually be happy employees. As far as industry goes, we have a wide variety. We actually do a lot of manufacturers. I personally like a lot of white collar, a lot of tech, but manufacturing clients are fantastic as well. Really, anyone that cares about their employees, we'd like to talk to. And as far as group sizes, just because it doesn't matter, any employees from 1 employee to up to 2,500.
Gotcha. So when you're working with companies, and you've worked with numerous employers over the years, I'm sure, what are the typical things that either they're doing wrong or they're misinformed about when it comes to those benefits that you guys offer?
I would say the biggest one, and really everyone at home, a lot of people think that a broker, well, there's 2 things. One, for groups under 100 lives, it's called small group in California. A lot of people think they have to pay the broker, and that's not true at all. It's just built into the commission. That's going through California. And the second thing is that brokers aren't car salespeople. A lot of people think a broker is going to show up, sell a product, and then disappear. And we really like to be the people that want to be there. First initial meeting, renewals, every 2 months we call and follow up their clients. It's really about being, again, the whole idea of family, right? So our biggest thing is 1, under 100, they're already paid, your brokers, and then 2, you got to be there for everything. It's a constant service. It's like a financial planner. You don't want to use a guy that calls you once and then never calls you again.
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because as I talk to more and more people in type of services, it's interesting when you talk to employers, they're like, oh, I have health insurance, but when I call the broker, they don't return my phone call, they don't support those things, right? So for employers out there, what are some typical things that you at your firm do to kind of support the employees as claims arise and cases arise and things come up that maybe they don't even think about the management part of it from a brokerage like yourself?
Sure. So one thing we actually do, which I just touched on a little bit of, every 2 months, 6 weeks to 2 months, we like to call or either email, it just depends on the client, just to follow up to make sure everything's going well. One of the biggest things is that you don't know everything. So a lot of times we'll follow up the client and just make sure everything's going well, there's no claims, no billing, and usually when we ask those emails or send out those emails or ask those questions, usually we'll find something going on, right? Oh my God, I had a client or an employee that had this sort of claim, can you please help them out? Or our billing's messed up, or something along those lines. We've even had client groups that had said, do you handle all the enrollments and all the terminations, like a new group that we just signed on? And we say, of course, just send it our way. So really, if you check in, just like living next to someone, if you check in constantly, you're gonna make that relationship better, and that's something that we like to do. So all enrollments, all terminations, online enrollment, showing up, all those things we do, and we like to handle.
Gotcha. And as you work with employers, obviously, they're not experts in insurance, and they probably are trying to fight those different things, but they may be thinking about at termination, why is it important for them to reach out to you guys?
At termination of the policy?
Yeah, no, termination of employees or changes in status of employees.
Right. I don't want to get into the nitty gritties because I know this is the quick talk. There's just so many different laws and regulations. Just to be really quick, in regards to health insurance specifically speaking, you work on a federal level first off, and then you have the California level, and then you have the carrier level. The reason why we like everything to be sent to us is because you want to make sure that every single level you go down, you do it correctly. That whole compliance legislation, very important for our firm. We actually give a lot of products to our clients for free, which is compliance legislation information like an HR portal. But to make sure you can do that without being sued or having a client or an employee come back and be angry at the employer, that's very important to us and important to our clients as well. So sending us that information is making sure it's done right, which is probably the most important thing of all.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, maybe give an example of a client you worked with recently where you're able to kind of, have that family type of environment, create that relationship, and really make a difference in their organization, either with the directors or owners or the employees. Where your firm was able to kind of show them the way and show them the difference and make their lives a little easier.
Sure, absolutely. So I actually have a firm. They're in Los Angeles, and one of the reasons why I became a health insurance broker was because my father had told me about a client of his. I can't get into specifics, but they were hit by a car on a bike, right? And unfortunately, the client had passed. And I, at the time, was training for a half Ironman, which I completed. Just want to make sure. It wasn't a full, but we had that. But actually, I was almost hit by a car probably 3 or 4 different times. And that idea of, you're out there, you're training, you're trying your hardest, and then somebody just taking that all away from you. Even though I didn't get hit by a car, it's sort of that empathetic feeling you get. So one of the reasons why I wanted to become a broker was because my father said a lot of other brokers aren't always in the mix of service, right? Mm-hmm. So what I wanted to do was, in case anyone never got hit, I wanted to be able to protect that person. And strangely enough, I had a client about 3 years into being a broker where one of their employees was actually hit by a car. So the first thing I did, once I heard, I reached out to the employee. I gave them my cell phone number, my email address, my personal email address, my other personal email address, my home phone number, and I said, I don't care what time it is. You call me. We want to make sure this process goes over well. Now for them, they had a PPO, which means that there is, at the time, there was a chance of balance billing, and there still is. But my whole point was, we want to make sure you can get your service done. You didn't have to worry about the financial side. Just get healthy, and that's what we were able to do. It was a happy client, happy employee, and I was happy because that's one of the reasons why I became a health insurance broker, actually help people.
Yeah. It's an awful situation, right? You need to be there for them in that situation, which you hope never occurs. But when it does, you want to make sure that you're holding their hand through the process.
Absolutely. A partner.
Awesome. Well, what we'll do is we'll link up all of Brett's information in the show notes below in the description. If you want to reach out and connect, all of his information will be there. But before we let you go, maybe give us a sense of when you're not handling insurance matters and healthcare benefits for clients. Where do you like to spend your free time?
I'm trying to get back into the whole Ironman all the time.
It's a pretty big commitment.
Absolutely. I like to be, honestly, hiking, being with my girlfriend, who hopefully will get married very soon. Although soon, everybody it's a word that can mean a lot. We just bought a house, so right now I like to say I'm an electrician, just because I'm doing so much. And mudding, so I'm a contractor right now. But really, it's just being out there with family, being out there with friends, and just trying to explore the world, have a good time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for tuning into the show. Like I said, we'll link up all of Brett's information below. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim.